I want you to hear me when I say this. America is for sale. America is for sale. And this ain't no conspiracy theory. This is a economic statement that I'm making. America is for sale. When it comes to real estate assets, business assets, and other investment assets that you can acquire and accumulate to build wealth for you and for your family, America is literally for sale. Now, one of the reasons why this statement is true, and there are a lot of economic experts and wealthy people who believe the same thing, is because we're in the middle of an economic reset. But with this reset, there's going to be a lot of disruption. There's going to be a lot of institutions disrupted. There are going to be a lot of families disrupted. But in these disruptive economic times, there's always a transfer of wealth through these assets, whether it's real estate assets, business assets, or other investment assets. Now, in order for you and I to participate in this economic reset, in this disruptive climate, in order for you and I to capitalize and use this time to our advantage, you gotta have the knowledge. You have to have specialized skill sets, strategies, and solutions that give you the leverage that you need to acquire, to accumulate these assets. Now, remember what I just said. There are real estate assets, business assets, and other investment assets. So if there's one thing, or maybe a couple things, that you need to gain specialized knowledge on, I would have to say you need to gain specialized knowledge on asset management. Okay, let me write that down for you. Asset management. Now, when I say asset management, I'm not talking about the typical Wall Street kind of asset management that you might be thinking about. I'm talking about you and I as entrepreneurs or small business owners, everyday people who want to position ourselves in the marketplace to acquire and accumulate assets. In order for us to do that, we need to have some type of business infrastructure that gives us the ability to acquire, to accumulate these assets so that we can manage them. This is where business structures like the holding company plays a very important role, which, by the way, most of these Wall Street type private equity groups and firms that do asset management on sophisticated levels, they are operating as holding companies. And I tell people all the time, you ain't got to wait until you got $100 million to have a holding company. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of people who tell you, you don't need no holding company. No, boo or bruh, you don't need no holding company. I want to put myself in a position now so that I can have a pathway to get to where I want to get then. In other words, like the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey said one of his habits was to begin with the end in mind. If you're like me, as an entrepreneur, you got a lot of ideas and you just want to understand the end so that you can begin with the end in mind. It's okay to be like that. So even as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur, or even as a W-2 employee with a side hustle or a small business owner, it's okay to set up a holding company, a parent company that you want to use to house the assets that you're ultimately going to manage. So again, you want to learn asset management.